The next step is to check that the letter that the user has introduced is matching any letter on the word of node. So, what is the word that we have at the moment? I have created a member variable or a class variable here. That's why it has the M at the beginning. And this is the word that we are going to use as an example. What is a class variable? What is this doing here? This means that this variable can be used from any method. And what is the difference between a class variable or any other variable? For example, we have here a method variable which is only visible on this method. So letter has a value here, and I don't know which value is letter here. I don't have any letter here, but I have an n word here. Why? Because n word is at the top level, is at the class. So this is a class variable and a method variable, and the difference is that the method variable can only be seen in the same class, and the class variable can be seen in the whole document. Okay, so I have my word, which is going to be word. It's always going to be the same one at the beginning. The game is not going to be very interesting yet. And now, when I introduce the letter, I need to check if that letter is on my word. So for that, we are going to introduce a Java for. So for every letter on the word, I have to see if the letter is okay. Let's start. For int I equals 0, semicolon, while I is less than the word length, I want to check all the letters, semicolon, increase I. Okay, so this is the body of the for, is what is going to be executed, the code, and this is the header of the for. This is a bit like an if. It has an if here, a condition. So it means that for all this time, when the condition is true, this is going to be executed. So why it has this shape? First, you start with a variable. So we are going to start from 0. Then you have a condition. And finally, you do something with the variable. In that case, I want to check every letter. So I will start from the first letter to the second one, to the third one, to the fourth one. So that's why I have one I equals 0, and I will be increasing one by one. The length of this word is 4. So that means that after 4, after I am here, I'm not interested in checking any more letters. So when this condition is not true, I will break the if. So let's see a bit how this works. The first time I will go into the loop with I equals 0, and this will be true. The second time I will be into the loop with I equals 1, and this will be true. The third time, and it's going to be like that until the fourth time, this question is not going to be true, because it's going to be 4 is less than 4. This is not true. So then I am going to finish the loop here. Okay, so now what do we have to do? I need to check that if the letter introduced is equals to the letter that I am at every step on the for. So if the letter where I am, which is the word sharp at I, this means I will come once in this for, and I will check the first letter, because this will be 0, then it will be 1, it will be 2. Char at is giving me the character which is on the position X of the word. So the first time this will give me W, second time this will give me O, and it's going to be like that. So I'm going to check like that if this char is equal to the introduced letter char at 0, because it only has 1. So if this is true, I need to show the letters on the screen. And if this is not true, I won't do anything yet. Okay. I want to make this a bit simpler and easy to understand, so I am going to create two variables here. The first variable is going to be the char at 0, so this is going to be char letter introduce, char introduce. What is a char? A char is another type on Java, which is just a letter. So we cannot compare strings like this, so that's why I'm going to use char to compare every letter with every letter. So this char will have the value of the introduced letter. Okay. Then char word. Then I'm going to have a char from the word, which is going to be changing the value every time. And this is going to be W the first time, it's going to be 0, R, or D. So this is going to be changing value every time on the for. And finally, I'm going to compare char introduce with the char from the word. I am just changing this to variable, so it is easy to read. Okay, let's clean this a bit. So let's do this again. When we create this method, when we call this method, we have a variable char introduce, which is a letter from our variable. Then we will go to a for, and in this for we are creating a variable for every letter in the word, and we are checking if the introduced char is equal to the char from the word. If it's equal, I'm going to do a log, and I'm going to say there was one match. Okay, now I'm going to execute the application and see if we have a match. Okay, now I wanted to check the log when introducing a letter, but for any reason my logcat, it stopped working, it rejected the connection. So for that, what you have to do is close the animation, or close your emulator, and start it again. Now I have restarted the animation, and you can see the logs again. So I'm going to test the application. I'm going to introduce a letter that is in this word. Note that these letters are uppercase, and I am going to show that this log is shown, that everything here is happening fine. So, okay, I'm going to show check letter. Okay, the letter introduced is W in uppercase, and there was one match. Fine. Now I want to show you what is happening on the for. So before the if condition, I am going to show you this. The letter we are checking is, and this is going to be the char from the word that we are at the moment. So I want you to see how the for is going to work. I'm going to introduce any letter here, for example X, check letter. Okay, first we introduce the letter, we come here, we call check letter without letter, the char introduce will be X, and we start doing the for. We did the for with I equals 0, so this will show with W, then we did the for with I equals 2, so this char from the word will be the second letter in our word. So we saw the second letter here, and we are going to do it 4 times because the length of the word is 4. Now if I show you a array letter, what is going to happen? Again, we are going to execute this four times, but when I come in the second letter here, it's going to tell me like that there is one match, because the letter introduced is one match with the letter O. Okay, I have explained this very slowly. I hope that you understand now how a for works. And this was basically the most complex part of our application. So we have finished this method, so let's make a comment for the method. So this method is checking if the letter introduced matches any letter in the word to guess. Okay, and the param, the introduced letter, is the letter introduced by the user. Okay, so now we have to continue showing the letter when we have guessed one of them.